Okay, so let me show you something quite quickly. If you are a nurse, please come closer. We have something very important to share. If you are a nurse, you should come closer and come and learn something. So Excel is basically not about just learning how to analyze data, but it can also help you to make your work. Now, so don't be get scared about this data. I will show you how to analyze this later on. But let's assume that I've come here. So look at what I have here. Uh, Imagine that you need to calculate the either somebody is overweight or that is the BMI of someone. So let me type on top the BMI, and you have to pick the person's weight and then the height, and to be able to determine whether the person is obese and the weight or whatsoever. And you have to do this for all the people in the OPD. Can you imagine how this is going to take you a whole long time? For instance, so okay, I have here zero, I have here zero, and then so nothing appears. You understand? So what you need to do, one patient comes and then you say, all right, so you measure the scale, and then the scale is okay, 78 kilogram, and then the height about 3 meters, and then that's it. Tap enter. Oh, it tells you that the person is underweight. That person is underweight. So you have already programmed this calculator and it's on your computer as a nurse. And then that is it. Then you are now just working with it. But if the person is about 2 meters, then what happened? The person is within the healthy weight, as you can see. What about if the person is 1 meter tall, or let's say 1.1? Then what will be? The person will be obese. You can see it tells you that the person is obese. And then the obese, check the color even changes to red, telling you that that's danger zone. But if the person is somewhere around to check something, healthy weight, the what is it? What the color also changes alongside. So these are the easiest. This is some of the ways that work become easy if you know Excel very well as someone who works within the health sector. Now, the health sector, I've seen a whole lot of nurses sometimes at the close of the day holding calculator trying to convert from one unit to the other. It's like unit conversion is very, very important in health sector or in the those who work within the health sector. Now, one of them that I have seen I've worked with that how to convert from months to years and then from years to months. For instance, if a child is 6 months old, he's half year, 0.5. Now, if a child is 0.5 years old, he's 6 months. The problem comes when the child is zero point 0.8, 0.8 years. So how many months would that be? This becomes a little bit of confusion. And the reason is that depends on your scale of measurement. If your scale of measurement is, they say, okay, pick all the data in years, you have to make sure you pick the data in years. I did a video on data entry errors and I mentioned it over there. If you are entering data, the unit under which you are entering remains stagnant. If you are entering all the what is it, the ages in months, they have to be in month. So how do you do that? Now, come to think of this, I just wrote a simple calculator here, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we are looking at month. We are converting from month, sorry, from years to months. So our unit of measurement is months. So we want everything to be in month. So if the person is 0.5 years, so how many months would that be? So if I'm going to run that, that will give me 6 months. I see. So what about if the person is 0.8? I'm just going to put there 0.8, and that will give me 9.6 months. Then in that order. Now let's come to years. Our unit of measurement here is in years, but you are measuring the people in months. So somebody comes to tell you that my child is 3 months old. So how many years would that be? It will be 0.25 years. 0.25 years. What about if the person say my child is 5 months old, and then that will be 0.41667 years. If you understand data, data doesn't look at what is logic. You look at what is the right thing. Don't bother about the fact that in month you have 9.6 months. So it's actually 9 months and some days. So if you want to know the number of days here, it's 0.6 times 30. Then it will give you the number of days and then you add to it. So 9 months is number of days, then in that order. I can also show you how to convert from the month to to days and then in that order. Now check. Another issue where I see problem is when you are using a particular temperature scale, and that temperature scale is coming from a country where like America, you see. So they use Fahrenheit. In Ghana, we like using degrees Celsius. But that's what the temperature scale is saying. So you measure someone and the person you are using, let's say, a degree Celsius what a thermometer. When you measure, you have to convert it. You see? So you can design your own calculator that is going to be able to do all these things for you. I'm going to do that. So now, come to think of it, I wrote a small formula here, and let's say that we are converting into what? Fahrenheit. And then we are moving from degrees Celsius. So let's say it's 32 degrees Celsius internally now. And so let me run that and see. So that will be 89.6 Fahrenheit. And now, what about if it is in degrees Celsius? Sorry, in Fahrenheit, and you want it in degrees Celsius. So I also have a scale here. And let's say on my computer right now is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to enter here 84, what is it? Degree Fahrenheit. And I want it in degrees. The current temperature in Kumasi is 28.89, degrees Celsius. So this is how we actually, but this what I have shown you is still not the best. It's still not how to make work easy. Now watch this. Don't skip this particular portion. Now there's something I call personalized functions that you write. If you are a health worker, if you are somebody working in Ghana Education Service, agriculture, wherever you are taking data every day, no basic stuff. It helps your work, makes your work very easy. I'm going to convert all that I have shown you right now into personal functions. So next time you don't have to write the whole code again. Immediately the thing comes, you just run it. So now let's start. We are going to start with the BMI, the BMI calculations. So come and click on this particular place. That is, but if you join my class, I'm going to teach you how to be able to write all of these long codes. They are actually not like difficult code. So I'm going to come here and copy the whole of this, and then I am good to go. When I copy that, then uh, uh, I am good to go. So I'm going to come to formulas here, and then I'll go to where I need to click at open place formulas, then come to names manager. You see, I've already created my personalized functions. So I'm going to come here and then give the function a name. The name is BMI calculations in uppercase letters, and that's all. So when I do that, but maybe there was something I needed to do for so that everybody will know what to do. So I'm going to cancel this part. I'm going to cancel this part and then show you how to be able to do that. Now, when I copy that particular function, let me just come to an open space like this and say lambda equal to lambda. And then the lambda is going to ask me of a parameter. So, but what I have copied, I'm going to paste it over there. Now, when I paste, check something. I have only one variable, which is actually H6, 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 and then in that order. It means that variable, I will need it. That's what I'm going to need in order to be able to do whatever calculation it is. So what variable is that? It can either be the 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 weight, or it can either be or I'm going to just assume that I already have done the calculations, which is over there, that I'm just going to copy it and then come and put it over there. So I think it is better that way. So I'm going to leave that part out. Then I'll just come to my names manager, come to this point, say BMI cal calcu calculations. Then I'm going to come to this point and then say this. Then I paste it over there, click OK. BMI calculate is here. And then that is it. So now the next time I want to calculate what is it, a value. So now if I say BMI, sorry, BMI, so you will see it is here. And then now I can simply, if I was having some kind of a data sitting down, I will just plug the data into it, and then I'll go ahead and then start my calculations. And then it will simply just run it. Now, the better one I had written, this one I'm trying to hide something. If you want to understand it, please, you need to come and then join my class. So when you type BMI like this, it will ask you for the weight of the person, all right? So what is the weight of that particular person? So the weight, let's say the person is, let's say 60 kilogram, and it will ask you of the height. The person is 2 meters tall. Then you close it, and it will tell you that the BMI is actually 15. So, but here, because we've not connected it to this cell, you can't know whether the person within healthy weight or not. But this is the BMI of the person. And so now when we compare it to anything below 18.5, it means the person is underweight. So this person is underweight. And then that's how it is. So you can now have your own stuff, and then you can always just call it whenever you need it. Now, the next one is, let's also come to this point, double click on it. And then you can see we simply copy it. Okay. We simply copy that, and then that is it. So we are going to come to the names manager and then give it a new name and call it. So we are converting from years to months. So I will call it years to months. So that's your calculator or your function. So I'll simply just paste this there, and then I will say I will now click OK, and that is it. So it is found here. Now, the same way, if I'd come to this point, at this one, copy the whole of this function like this, and then, oh, sorry. And then, now that we've copied it, we are now converting from months back to years. The other one was years to months. Now we are years to months. Okay. So we come to names manager, we go to this point and say we are converting from month to year. And then we are good to, because our final unit is supposed to be in years. And then I'm going to do this and just paste it over here and click OK. And then, so we have years to month, and we can just simply close it. Now, let's come to the last one, the last two. Now, we are converting from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to copy the whole of this as my function. So I am copying that. And then, so degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, that's what we are converting. I'll come to my and come Fahrenheit. Then you come to this point referring to where I've already created the formula, and so, but I don't need the 32 again. It's not necessary. So I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to copy this one too again. So I don't need to copy with the variable. I was only using it, and then so I'll come to my names manager. Okay, and then the new one, And so here is Fahrenheit to degrees. Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So we'll come to this point and then just paste it over there, click OK, and then click close. And then that is it. So now, say I want to, somebody has come with his baby. I'm sure that I might have made some mistakes here because I didn't remove the variables. These last variables that I did, I think I copied with them. So I should have copied all the way up to this point, you see, and leave the 5 out. Because if I leave the 5 there, or if I put the 5 there, it means we are just going to be calculating only constant value. And that's not how it works. So it was supposed to be but let me go to names manager and see if it's possible for me to edit it. But the one that I did it correctly, let's go ahead and then check that. So now let me close this. So the next time I now let me put my grid lines, come to view, go to my grid lines here. And so now let's see if I have like my temperature right now is 85 point no, so 85 Fahrenheit. So it's 85 Fahrenheit and I want it in degrees. So I'll just come here. I will say, so it means I am converting from Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So I was having a function where I call it Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. As you can see, the function simply comes here. Use your IntelliSense. And so it will require for this value. Then I will just click on that value, click close, and tap enter. It tells me we are at 84 degrees Fahrenheit. In degrees, it will be 29.44 degrees Celsius. And that's the current. So it's work really, really easier. Now, let me try for the months, or let me try for the degrees Celsius. So let's see this particular degree Celsius that is here. So I'm going to call from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. The function that I wrote is here. So I'm going to pick this up and then 10. You see that it gives me the same. So now imagine that if you are a nurse and then you have so many of these degrees Celsius whatsoever that you have to be converting. Now, let me show you where it gets interesting. So I'm going to say run between so let's say we are looking at Fahrenheit 100, then I close it, return it, and just fill some few lines. Let's say this all of them, the Fahrenheit that you have. You want to convert all of them into degrees Celsius. You can't be doing this one by one. So the best way is let me copy and then paste it back so that to avoid recalculation. I will now come back. They are in Fahrenheit, so I am converting to degrees Celsius. So that is where we have I'm going to say equals to Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. I've already written this function. So I will simply tap my enter, come to this point, click on that, close it up, and I think maybe a mistake somewhere. Fahrenheit to, okay. I made a mistake over here. Yeah, so it tells me that if the Fahrenheit is 61, that's what is going to happen. So double click here and it will fill up the rest of the space. So if we have, let's say 87 Fahrenheit, then that is 30 degrees Celsius or 30.5 degrees Celsius. So this becomes easier for you. You see, if we had looked at the conversion of the month into years or years into months, let me see whether that function is working. I've already said that there might have been some mistake because I copied with a constant number. So that is converting from years to months. So that will be years to months is here. Years to months. You see that it does not ask me for an input because I already had a constant value which was there. You see, so if I don't do anything and I just return, it will give me the same number that was here. That was the reason why I needed to remove the constant value. But at least you understand the point I was trying to make. There are ways that we can edit it. If you join my class, trust me, I take time to explain all these things and how to be able to build your own functions to make your work very, very cheap. And the last thing is now we were on Fahrenheit, now we are in degree. So let's also assume that these are, okay, let's assume that these are, so let's change it, bring it to some few decimal places. Yeah, like this. So let's assume that that's our degree Celsius. We wanted it in Fahrenheit. So you can't have all the time to be doing the calculation one by one. So we want it in Fahrenheit. So that is degree to what to Fahrenheit. I've already created the function. So I'll simply just say degree to Fahrenheit, which is here, down here. Say degree to Fahrenheit, which is here. Use tab. And then now just click on this, close it up and enter. So it will give you the same 61. And then when you double click, you see that it will feel the same thing over here. Instead of you, going back and forth, you have so much data, you have a report you need to present to your boss. And then, so if you know how to create all these calculators, it makes your work very easy. It can easily make your work like go faster. Like all that I have done, if you've already created the functions, they are there on your computer now. Each time you want, for instance, if I move to a different, what is it? If I move to a different cell or different sheet right now, the functions are still there. If I move to a different sheet right now and I say I want to convert from degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, you see that it is here. And then I can now put my Fahrenheit over there. Let's say it's even one figure, and then somebody is asking you to convert it. Let's say, okay, it's 25 degrees Celsius. So what will be the equivalent in Fahrenheit? So it will tell you that it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit, and then that is it. So these are some of the ways we create our own functions to make. You can convert all kinds of units, the kilogram to grams, grams to milligrams, and all of that. You don't have to have a calculator to be doing all this. I know there are some calculators that have been designed already for this, but you can create your own functions, instances, your own function how to calculate commission to pay people, your own functions to calculate overwork, overtime in minutes, in seconds, over your own functions to calculate those who come early to work, how do you reward them? And then those who, all of that, we can learn all of these things. Very easy. Okay, so I'll see you some other time. Uh, if you are interested, please, you need to join. And trust me, you will enjoy.